Hi, everyone. It's me, Rebecca, and today I'm shining my spotlight on the SCV Golden Girls, Peggy and Patty. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. This is a dynamic duo. For me, they're really helpful in my business and helping my clients in certain areas. And I know you girls are out to make a real impact in the lives of seniors. It's why we joined up together. And I want to share with my people, who are you and what do you do? What's your mission? So, for people who might not know of you, what's your business and what are you doing?
Well, thank you, Rebecca, first of all, for having us on and for the invite. But we are the SCV Golden Girls. We're a local agency here in Santa Clarita. Both Peggy and I started in the financial industry over 10 years ago. We're best friends, and we opened up our own agency, the SCV Golden Girls, a couple years ago. Our kids are, born raised in Santa Clarita, went to school here, so we're very community driven. But we specialize in long-term care, estate planning, final expense, all areas of finance. And we just added Medicare to our platform a couple years ago. And that's been a great opportunity for us. And that's the reason why we teamed up with you, is we help every Medicare eligible individual with questions and issues and what's happening with all the noise with Medicare.
Right. And it may seem odd, our partnership, because you're in the financial arena, most likely in advisory, and I sell real estate, but because of where I am in my business and I work with a lot of people whose parents are getting to that time where, I mean, your advice is not even, it's mandatory. Like, we need you. That world can be so complicated for people, and I want everyone to know that I'm a great resource for the community, and you guys fill a space for me for advising people. And because I totally trust you and taking care. So I just want to reiterate that I'm super appreciative of being with you.
We love
So
our seniors. We want to take care of them.
I know, and that's why we're aligned. Um, so what makes you your company, and well, or you two, like, unique out there when someone needs your help? What do you do differently, or what's your approach that sets you apart?
We're a hands-on approach. We like to meet rather than just phone call. We have an office here in Valencia, so we like to sit with them, talk to them. We have them fill out a form so we know what their needs are, who their doctor is, what their meds are,
Mhm.
and reading about Medicare. But it also applies to other things that we do. We have them fill out a form so we know what they want, what they need, what's most important to them. And then we go from there. But we like the face-to-face, one-on-one. And we've met some wonderful, funny, great people in this
Yeah.
area. All have great stories. We have great stories. And so, yeah, that's our thing, is that we're face to face. We're friendly. We're professional. We show up. We're dedicated. We're loyal. We're not going anywhere. We will call you anytime you call us. So we are there for whoever needs us. It's not a one-time deal.
No,
Right.
and you're a wealth of knowledge for me, and people that I know that you work with. Have done some expos together also, and I hear some of the things that you share with people about what you do. So real quickly, what are the top three um, resources that you can offer, or services that you can advise on if, like, somebody needs this? You are the go-to girls. Tell me the top three things.
Well, I want to continue that conversation. What separates us, what makes us different too, is the fact that we treat every client like their family.
Mhm.
So what will we do for our parents, right? What will we do for our siblings? And that goes not only for Medicare, but all the other areas that we do. Like estate planning is one thing that we're very focused on, right? Because that ties in not only the senior market, but it doesn't matter. Anybody over 18 needs to have an estate plan. Why? Because they need a medical directive. God forbid something happens to them, they become incapacitated. Who makes decisions for them? So that's number one. Number two, long-term care. We're dealing with the sandwich generation.
Yep.
I experienced it. I'm being the youngest of 15 kids. This is one of my whys why I came into this industry. It's because I lived it, I went through it, and it was a harsh reality when you're not prepared. and you've got the young children you're trying to raise, and you're dealing with an aging parent, and also the financial part. I didn't have the financial literacy. And so my mission has been, we got to reach out to the community. For me, the Latino, the brown and Black community has been my mission, because we don't have that education. Nobody taught us, put money away, you're going to need it one day. Plan ahead for long-term care. Who's going to change your diapers? Who's going to wipe you down? Who's going to shower you? Do you want your kids to do that? Or do you want to live at one of the amazing assisted living facilities? But for that, you need money. And so those have been the two top things, for us as well, is not only the financial part with the seniors, the older Generation X, baby boomers helping in retirement, but also the millennials and all the, Gen Zs, right? They've got to start putting money away so they're able to retire one day and not have to worry about what's going to happen. Do I have to work till 70, 75, 80? We see that with the baby boomers right now. A lot of them cannot retire because poor planning.
Yeah.
Right.
And Medicare would be our third, obviously, because seniors are confused, very confused. And
well, and just to say, besides seniors being confused, there are their children that you mentioned that are there to help them, and they're confused, right? Like they really need you.
So right now is open enrollment, and it ends December 7th. So we're trying to, a lot of people are getting letters in the mail, and we're trying to help them guide through that. Some are being kicked off their plans, so they need help to find a new plan. And just being out there to show them. So we've done some fairs. We work with a medical group, Heritage Sierra, and we've done some other stuff locally in Santa Clarita, Palmdale, and the Valley. We did a fair, and it was great. We got to, and just talking to people, meeting them, and then hearing them out. So Medicare is definitely one of our favorites, because the seniors are kind of need our help, but they're also kind of unheard and kind of, so we want to hear them. They have great stories and many gems to tell, and we want to hear them and help them and get them to where they're comfortable, relieved, and just live their daily life, whatever that is. So.
And what I hear when you are both sharing is the importance of being prepared. And so right now, like you said, it's open enrollment. There's a deadline coming up where I know you're so busy, and I'm so appreciative you took the time to talk to me about it, because I know you've probably got appointments. But going back to the preparation phase, a lot of times people don't get prepared, and there's a lot of stress that happens trying to figure it out now that you've got a situation, whether it be somebody who's now needing to move into a long-term care or something like that, or even what's important in my world is estate planning or trusts and things. And I can't tell you how many of my past clients, they don't have their home in a trust, they don't have a plan, and so this isn't specific or only needed by seniors. It's anybody who, like you said, over 18, anybody who owns a home or anybody who lives, who has anything, because it covers the whole gamut from their financial health, like accounts and things they own, to their physical health. If they go into the hospital, what's going to happen if they're incapacitated, and there's decisions to be made, and all of that in between, which is really important to prepare and plan for. And what I find, I'm sure you find this way more often than I do, but what I see is people, they don't want to talk about it. They're a little like, no, maybe later, or I'm not sick, nothing's going to happen, that kind of stuff. One of the reasons that I'm partnering with you, or that I'd love to partner with you, is with your information, is because I'd like to provide people with that no obligation conversation, so that at least you can help them understand these are the steps you're going to need to take, and I'm here for you. And it doesn't have to be immediate. It should be, I'd like it to be, but I'll help you along the ways to get you prepared for or at least even know what you should be preparing for, because it's so important.
It is. And I think, going back to estate planning, a lot of people think, like, they'll say to us, I don't have any property, I don't have any children, but you have a pulse, right? So anybody that has a pulse needs some preparation and estate plan, but also, families with young kids, right? If you've got minors and you don't have anything in place, what happens to the children if, God forbid, you pass away on date night, right? Kids will go to foster care. The judge decides who gets the children. So why put your children through that trauma? But that's one thing that we're very passionate about. Don't put it off. We see it too often where it's a little too late. The father will have a stroke in the middle of the night. They meant to do the estate plan. The home goes to probate, and then it's a whole different conversation.
And I will add, we are affordable and our services are complimentary when it comes to Medicare. So that part, take off the table. Our estate plans are very affordable. And that's another thing I want people to get over, because it's not very expensive and we do have a lawyer that reviews it. So it is absolutely secure and safe and by law. And Medicare, we have huge compliance. So we have to follow all the compliances through that. So, and we get constant training through our carriers. We represent 30 carriers in Medicare. So our training is it's great. And same with the insurance products. We have over 300 carriers as well. So we represent a lot, and we don't want to be captive, because we want to offer people choices to get what they need the time they need it, and then be done.
For people who probably 99% of them feel like they could be overwhelmed by this kind of process, just give me a real brief, like, what does it look like from maybe the time I give you a call to, what does your process look like?
It depends, right? First of all, in order to make sure that someone's financially right in the right direction, we provide a roadmap. So we do a free financial analysis and figure out. Now I'm talking about the retirement, part of it, right?
Yeah.
Because that all ties in. When you're going to sit down and talk about retirement, what are the things that you need to discuss, right? How much money am I going to need? How much have I put away? How much do I need to put away if you're younger? What does my retirement life look like? Do we want to travel? Do we want to, take 6 months off, whatever it may be? Am I going to set up my children for college?
Yeah.
What does that look like? And if something were to happen to me, do I have life insurance to make sure that, the bills are going to get paid and my family doesn't have to rely on a GoFundMe to keep the lights on, right? Or bury me. And so we do a free financial analysis, which most firms, charge you for that. Ours is complimentary. The carriers that we represent are the ones that pay us. So we create a roadmap. Okay, let's fill your buckets, right? You've got retirement, you've got life insurance, you've got an estate plan. And now let's talk about Medicare. Let's talk about college planning and long-term care. When are you going to need it? It's not, do you think you're going to need it, right? When are you going to need it? And a lot of the policies nowadays, it's not like before. A lot of the policies have a living benefit. And so you can access some of that living benefit if you can't do your activities of daily living and whatnot. So again, our process is just educational. But we also have the 300 plus companies that back us, and it's not a one size fits all for everybody, depending on what your needs are very different than mine, that are very different from Peggy, are very different from dealing with the 20-year-old, right? The 20-year-olds right now will say, I'm too young, I don't want to talk about it, I've got time. But then what happens, right? There'll be
time goes by,
and now you're not insurable, or now you're too expensive. And a lot of them will say, well, I don't have the money, I can't do it, but they're out spending $30 a day on fast food and Starbucks and nails and hair and tennis shoes and DoorDash, right? But yet it's having that mindset of, I've got to be the number one priority, I'm the number one bill. And I think, if anything, this business, has taught me that, is that, we're not going to be here forever, but what's your legacy, right? And that's the biggest reward in being in this industry, is that we're able to really help a family from plan A to plan Z, and nothing in
and their budget is always in mind. We look at their budget. We don't want to set someone up to fail. So budget is critical for any age. And we've been parents, we have kids, we know what it's like to figure out if you're going to eat or you're going to, pay the mortgage, like one of the two. We've been there, done that. It's nothing new for anyone, but so we have that experience as well as mom.
So I mean, really, you're valuable to anyone at any age and at any stage. But what we're doing together is really in the context of SOS, which is the Serving Our Seniors Network that we're both a part of and founding members of. Thank you for being with me. And in the context of the seniors, families who are caring for aging loved ones right now, what's the one piece of guidance you'd offer as they navigate, working towards senior care? What are in the challenges of that?
That you're not alone. From experience, I lost my mom at 95, and Peggy's going through that with her mom right now.
Mhm.
And so we, have lived it, we live it, we breathe it. And, just know that there's a lot of resources, just like serving our seniors. Had I had the group when I went through it with my mom, it would have been a different experience as well.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the biggest takeaway from what we're doing for the community, right? Because, we're out there spreading the knowledge, information, and as overwhelming as it is dealing with an aging parent, and you get frustrated. It's the frustration, right? Of like, oh my God, now I become the parent, the roles switch. And I think once you understand that, and once you figure out how you're going to navigate through that, how all of a sudden you have a curfew and why aren't you home and what are you doing? And, the roles completely change. So I think, you've got to take some deep breaths and just take it one day at a time.
And
Yeah.
plus, like you said, because we are on the SOS board, we have so many resources available to us.
Mhm.
And so if we're not sure of something, we will ask. We're not afraid to ask. We're not afraid to research and find out whatever that may be. Some of our carriers with senior care represent vets. So we have that connection as well. We're involved in the veterans community. We're doing an event tomorrow. So we want to learn so we can help you. So like, don't be afraid. We are a resource, a plethora of information, and we will get the answer for you. You're not alone. We'll be there for you. So we're not a one-stop shop. Well, I guess we are a one-stop shop, but in we'll find the answer, whatever that may be. Because like I said, there's just so many different scenarios and different issues people have.
And we're learning too that, a senior nowadays is very different from the seniors, back in the day, right? They're more tech savvy, they know more, they're more informed, but they're not aware of a lot of resources that are out there, and they need that guidance. They need that, they're savvy with certain things, but they also know that things are changing, right? There's a lot of changes happening this year in 2026 with Medicare and insurance, and there's just a lot of noise. And so that's why her and I will spend hours and hours researching and making sure that when we do Medicare 101s, like we just did one 55 and over community, and we had a great turnout, but the questions are the same concerns. What's going to happen? They're scared. What's going to happen? Am I going to lose coverage? Am I going to lose my insurance? My husband has cancer and they cut his medications off. What do I do? So every scenario is different, but know that, as we are going through the process, we'll help. We're great guidance, for that. We're great guides.
Well, and in closing out, speaking of your Medicare 101, I know you do a lot of informational lunch and learns and different things at different organizations. If somebody was interested in connecting with you or coming to an event, how is the best way to follow you or reach you?
Either we're actively on social media, right? Facebook and Instagram, SCV Golden Girls. If not, you can share our information, but we also have a website, scvgoldengirls.com, and you can find us there as well. And again, we're just a phone call away. We're very active. It's been really interesting the last 6 months. People recognize us, and we find that a lot of the same people go from event to event. So it's been really good for us because they know that we're credible. They know that we're out there doing the right thing, and and then we're fun. We bring the fun to
You are.
these topics that are like sometimes taboo and people don't want to talk about it. And we're like, wait a minute, who's going to change your diaper and who's going to wipe you down? Oh my God, I never thought about that. So, we just try to make it fun and educational. And we all know that we're all headed that way, right? And the more resources we have, the better we're going to age gracefully.
True.
Yep, exactly. Well, this is the first time that we're sharing this out on video, but it will not be the last. We're building out our resource library and our YouTube channel, which you can follow us down there together and go visit the Golden Girls at their website, which is also right here. And I really appreciate the two of you taking time to be with us today. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.